Hello and welcome to my channel. This is How to Program channel. In this channel you can find the Mendix, and if you want to learn Mendix, if you want to join the Mendix, or if you increase your existing knowledge, this is the right channel. You should follow this. And today we are gonna start a new series which I called the Mendix Basics. In this series you can find the real good information about the Mendix. Let me introduce myself. My name is Utku. I'm certified Mendix developer, and also I'm certified Mendix teacher, which means I rapidly gives the education to in professional level. And in this channel you can find my teaching and learning stuffs under this channel. I hope you enjoy. And what we are gonna do today, we're gonna create a new app, and we're gonna look the developer portal and its general introduction actually, and what is the developer portal, what is the purpose, and what is the elements on it. And we then, after the creation, we're gonna look to Mendix Studio Pro, which means IDE I called. We're gonna look the IDE in general. Then after IDE introduction, we'll look to modules. After the modules, we're gonna start with the domain model and the other stuffs. And this is the first video. If you follow these steps, you're gonna find the new videos and more advanced topics on it. Before we start, I'm gonna say that this is kind of the rapid and between the beginner level. If you want to see more advanced options, please follow me. Then I'm gonna switch to the developer portal site. From developer portal, you can create app, or you can see all your apps here. I'm gonna assume you don't have any application. In this case, you need to create an app, of course. There are two options, which is the first one is from developer portal you can create an application, or from the Mendix version selector you can create a new application from the version list. Okay, let me do it from the developer portal. I click the create app button. He's asking me. I'm choosing the blank web application, and under the blank web application I can see in the advanced settings the version. I'm gonna choose 9 point. I want to make the application with this or this, so I want to choose one of them. In the repository type is actually there are two options, and Git and SVN. Now it's Git selected. Okay, you can search 9.24.3 and remain the repository type as Git. Of course, there are some LTS solutions. Mendix continuously improve the LTS versions. I'm gonna suggest you to follow the LTS versions. With this template, I choose the select template button. Then customize your app. We need to give a name to our application. How to program _ lesson 1. Of course, you can choose an icon for your application, then select create app. It will take, you see, it won't take so much time. This is the developer portal. Let me introduce this. This is the management platform for your applications. Now I'm in the how to program the existing application. The boss parts, it's kind of the dashboard. You can see the application, you can see the messages here from our teams, you see here. And under the team panel, you can find the team members. Of course, you can invite some members from here by typing their email addresses. Feedbacks can be found under the feedback options. While testing, testers or developers or users can put feedbacks, and under the developer portal, feedback site is this for this purpose. I'm gonna jump into the documents. You can upload some documents related with the applications, and this is the team server. This is the settings part. There is an application ID which is unique number. In each app, there's a different application ID, and also some related tabs you can find here. And board, it's kind of the project management site. Yeah, you see there is no active sprints, there is no epics planning archive. Let me go to the environments. Because we are using free version, there is no activity, no application log or whatever is seen. In the next chapters, you will find more advanced topics on the developer portal. But until now, I think it's enough. We can switch to our IDE application. To open the IDE, you need to click the Edit in Studio Pro options. After clicking, there will be a pop-up, and Mendix version selector will open the related version for your application. Open. I think I'm gonna close this one. Yes. Then click again. Open Mendix version selector. Yes. The related version you see here is opening now. Then what will I see? What we will see? Okay, there's a sign in. We just click and go to the, yeah, I think I'm clicked double times. Yes, I close off them. Okay. And team server app, yes, I'm gonna open. What we'll see, there is an empty app, which is the default. And in this app, you will find some modules and some sections. This is IDE. We call this Mendix Pro, Mendix Studio Pro. This is the empty app. You see in the App Explorer, there are 3 modules. We call them as a module. In each standard blank app, you will find these 3 modules. The first one is app module, which is standard, and which has some applications settings and application navigation related settings, and which is more application settings you will find there. And of course there is styling part, which you can create some CSS, and there will be some modules on it, marketplace module. You will find and import necessary modules under your application, and there is a system module on it, which is also the standard part. I'm gonna, like this, I'm gonna close all of the sections, and this is the logic module, which is called my first module. Of course, in any time you can change this module name by right-clicking and rename. And how to, yeah, this is the my new module name. Under your module name, under your module, you will find domain model, and you will find home page, and you will find some resources like images or whatever. In any time, you can create add module. You can add module, or you can replace, or you can delete these modules at any time. These are the modules. Let me introduce IDE again. App-related settings, as I said, remember, as I said earlier, under the app, from the settings part, there are some configuration which is related. You can choose the database type. You see there are available databases. You can choose the ports. And there will be some advanced topics like application configuration parameters. And under the runtime, you can, for example, create an after startup microflow. What is the microflow? We will give details in the future. It's kind of the logic of your application. You see there are some encryption methods, others, and you can choose your application language. You can add more. These are the certificates. These are the UI templates that it's giving standard. These are the other parts. Under the file parts, then let me first, these are the App Explorer. These are the selected part. You see the selected part is here, and you can switch all of them. So you can switch between them. If you want to close all of them, like this, just close all button. In the bottom tab, you will find the stories, changes that you made for your application. Of course, you can commit or pull under this section. If you have an error, you will find under this tab. This will become 1 and with the red. This is our console. This is all related logs with application. You will find this. And variables and debugger, in the future, we will put some breakpoints on application somewhere. Then we will step by step see the variables, and we will debug our application. On the right side, you will find properties, toolbox, and connectors. If you select the page, you will find the related properties and toolbox under the right section. Or if you select a domain model or whatever, you will find related part with this, within this part. Let me go with the file. As you see, you can export or import your application package under here. You can find some related advanced topics with the Find Advanced button. For example, you don't remember the REST name within the application in some of the microflow, you can find this. You can use this Find Advanced button. In the view, you can change the all view with IDE. In the app part, there are some important topics which we can say that it's kind of advanced topic, but let me introduce. Synchronized app directory means your application is working on your computer, local computer. So there is of course a URL. In this URL, you can find your application. With you click the synchronized app directory, app and your directory will be synchronized. Show app directory in Explorer. It's very yes. When I click this, you can find your application. This is all the application with the related documents. Deploy for Eclipse is for the Java actions, but in the future, by deploying your application to Eclipse, you can write some custom Java codes on it. And create deployment package. After development, you can create a deployment package to push your application in, for example, in one environment. You can use Cloud Foundry or whatever. Clean deployment directory after the Java implementation with Eclipse. you need to clean your directory. So we will use this in the future. Run means, as in the name, your application can run locally. By clicking this button or clicking this button, you can run and test your application in your local environment. What is the publish button? Publish button will send your application to the Mendix cloud, which is free sandbox environment. You will see in later. Version control, you can see it's about the working with teams. You can create some branches. You can merge this branch. You can switch the branches, or you can add your existing database snapshot data to your application. And as language part, it's, as I said earlier, you can change your applications set language settings from here. What I will do, I will just click the run application to see what is the application exactly for now. This run button allows to you test your application before publishing it to the cloud. This is the free app now, and it will open your home page. After your application ready, you can see this view app button here. You see our first step is ready with the empty and default settings. Why this is the home page? Because this is the navigation settings. You see there is your application title, application icon, and your default home page is defined here. If you say show, you will find this page. What I'm gonna do is, in this section, if I want, for example, I'm going to go to the toolbox and put some text on my home web. What I did is just drag and drop and switch and click the one and change its content. If I save, there is nothing to change in my application. I need to rerun my application to see the changes in browser. You see here my changes is now in the browser part. As you see, there are some related page stuffs. It can be found under the toolbox here. We will see the page building in the next videos. What we are gonna do is now with starting with domain model. Domain model, actually Mendix is the database first approach. What does mean? You need to create the database and entities and tables at first. Then you can combine with this database with your pages, okay? I click the domain model. You see toolbox, there is only the annotation and entity. I put annotation here. This is kind of comment section. You can use annotations to in your microflow or domain model for your comments. And these are the entities. I'm gonna like this drag and drop. If you don't like drag and drop, you can right click and add entity or annotation like here. You see, we have now two entities. What is an entity? Entity is in very basic terms is a table. This is the Mendix documents part. These are the entities. You see there are two entities here with attributes and some icons. We will cover all of the steps in the next videos, but we will cover the most basic parts for now. At first, why this changing colors? The upper ones are blue, but the lower ones is like orange. When you click your entity, you can drag and drop in anywhere. When you click your entity, double click your entity, there is a pop-up opens. You can change your entity name, for example, person. If I click OK, I changed my entity name. And there are some system numbers. You can create your, you can store your create date, change date, or owner from here. Or if you want to store the change person, you need to click with this combo box, with these checkboxes. There's some generalization part, images you can see. And under the persistable part, you see the default yes is selected. If I choose to no and click OK, this background become orange. What does it mean? Persistable entity is stored in the database, but when you put no to the for persistable, it means it's non-persistable entity, so it will not store in the database. It will like the variables. During the runtime, it will create it, and garbage collector collects and delete this. Okay, I'm gonna put and yes again. You see, my person entity becomes blue again. These are tabs: attributes, associations, validations, event handlers, indexes, and documentations are available now. Attributes, it's the attribute of your entity. For example, a person could have name, and which is string attribute. And there are also some available attribute types: auto number, which is increasing rapidly. You cannot change this 1, 2, 3 or whatever. It's binary options. It's very clear. And boolean stuffs: true, false, date and time, decimal or float, you can call whatever. 1.2, it's kind of decimal. Enumeration is predefined values. For example, talk about the genders, male and female. There are some enumerations, we can call it. Hashed strings and integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and long values and strings. So name becomes strings. If I click OK, I add these attributes to the entity. You see, when you change this, there is some small point become here. You can find, you can push the J, Control and S button, or you can't save like this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add more attributes like age, which is integer, and for example gender, which could be integer, but I prefer to use the enumeration. And there is no enumeration available here. I'm gonna put with under this with selection the module. I click the new and give a name, enum gender. Then this enumeration pop-ups will occur. I create male and female options available here, then click OK. Now this is OK. You put name, age, and gender attributes to your person entity. You can choose a default value for this. And we will put some date attributes. We want to use the date and time attribute. Maybe I can use this as an birthday. And of course, you can define some default values on it. You see, our entity is ready, but it's not used anywhere. If you want to use your entity in your application or in your page, you need to bind this entity to your pages. But this is about binding your application, binding your entity with the pages. We will cover this topic in our next videos. What we're gonna do is here creating another entity, for example, student. Then we're gonna fill out this entity with the latest information in our next videos. This is the first topic. I'm gonna divide each sections in the smaller parts. I hope you enjoy, and see you at next videos. Thank you.